Guys, I used to have a podcast. Well, I do. I have a podcast room and I have a podcast microphone. I have like a podcast setup. I didn't spend a lot of money on it. In fact, I did an episode like a year ago on how to start a podcast on a shoestring budget. I like bought some kit on Amazon that like is like, you know, for starting a podcast. And yeah, I didn't buy like top of the line equipment because I didn't know if I was going to stick with it for a very long time or if I would love it. So then one day my microphone failed. Now it could have been as simple as um, the like me not plugging it in completely, like maybe it wasn't plugged in all the way, but it scared me to death. So I lost that episode. I did this whole episode. Thank God it was a solo episode because it would be like my worst nightmare to like interview someone really spectacular and take their time and energy and talent and then come to find out it didn't record any of the audio. I would die. Thank God that happened on a solo episode. I did have to re-record that episode from scratch. But ever since I've like ditched the mic because I kind of feel like at this point, first of all, I don't know how much I care about, I don't know. Does it matter to you? You can let me know, but be nice. Let me know if you think I should buy a fancy microphone. Does that matter like to you? Okay. Anyway, um, well, since I'm not using a mic, I have felt more freedom to podcast from anywhere I want. So I've podcasted from a car. I've podcasted last week from my backyard. And now I'm literally like sitting at the kitchen bar and I've got like a suitcase and a basket of laundry behind me. So it's a little bit of a cluttered background. I'm sorry. Most of you won't see it unless you're on Spotify with their new video feature or on YouTube. But again, most of our listeners are on Apple, so you won't see the mess behind me. Before I dive into this topic today, which is going to be about club owners that like don't know group fitness, but try to micromanage group fitness. It's a real thing. It's pretty nuanced too. So hang on, wait for the topic. But before I get there, I wanted to thank you so much for the 5-star rating. You guys, I had a 4.9 rating forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. This podcast is almost 2 years old now, and it's kind of like it's kind of been like 4.9 for like the last year and a half because somebody gave me a bad review and everyone else gave me 5 stars. And P.S. like thank you so much if you took the time to rate the show. Really. And some of you comment on there, and I really love it. And I need to be better about sharing your comments on the show. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start sharing your comments. So I'm sorry I keep yawning. It is late. It's really late. In fact, it's possible that I'm about to get interrupted by my son, who recently moved back home because he works until um like 10:30. So he might come in while I'm podcasting. That'll be awkward because I'm like right in the middle of everything and the dogs will bark. So let me try to get to it. I am going to put my little backlight timer on my phone so I can see some notes that I made. And we're going to talk about club owners. And we're going to talk about you and how valuable you are. Okay. So, um, basically, I want to talk about the disconnect that can happen from the top. And if you work at a club where the owner teaches or taught in their life, like you're so fortunate. That's so unusual. Am I recording? Hold on. Am I? Yes, she is. Okay. Um, so I'm treading lightly here. I've worked in management for some different places and clubs. And in in both situations, the club owner didn't know the first thing about group fitness. What I mean by that is like they wouldn't be able to tell you about the instructors, what their strengths are, what their formats are, whether they're freestyle, whether they're pre-choreographed, what the format is like, who the format's intended audience is. Like they didn't know the first thing about it. The difference is one of the people I worked for, forgive me for yawning so much. Um, one of the clubs I worked, one of the guys, um, n- like knew that he didn't know and like literally trusted me to make all the decisions because group fitness is what I know. Like that's the job I'm hired for. And he let me do my job. And he did not micromanage me. Does that mean I'm perfect and never made a mistake as a leader? No, but he trusted me. He trusted that I knew more than he did, and if I made a mistake, I would fix it. And and then the other experience that I had was like, oh, sorry, I keep yawning. It's crazy. It's like contagious. I keep yawning now. Um, the other experience that I had was like where the club owner didn't understand group fitness at all, but also like wanted to make final decisions, like wanted to micromanage and control the schedule. And it was really hard to it was really hard to be in that position. And I feel like probably some of you as managers are in that position, or you're an instructor and that's your situation. And so I hope I can illuminate some things. And I also like want to deliver this content in such a way, and I might not be off to a great start. I'd like to deliver these thoughts in a way that isn't inflammatory or would put a club owner on the defensive. That's like not that would that's not my intention at all. Quite the contrary. Like I would love to deliver an episode right now that is something you could pass along to your club owner and maybe change the way things are done. So, um, one thing that some club owners don't understand is that group fitness is not just a bonus offering, it's a retention tool. In fact, the attrition rate, I believe I read the last time from URSA, now called HFA, Health Fitness Association. Um, I believe the latest statistic I read was that there's a 27, so basically 30% attrition rate. So people join a gym and 30% of them quit within like, a year, something like that. The stats are something like that. So it's like, it's much harder to go find new members than it is to just keep the ones you have happy. And there's no department that does that better than group fitness. Like people who are attached to an instructor, to a format, to a class, to a culture, to a community, they will never leave. It's your group fitness junkies, both instructors and both your staff too, your instructors and your members. It's your group fitness sector that will ride or die with you as a club. They will ride or die because they are so in love with one another and the experience and the magic. And if a club owner has never experienced that magic, they don't understand. They don't get it. They don't know. Like it's ignorance, for lack of a better word. So it is the club's greatest retention tool. Group fitness is a health club's greatest retention tool. But because it's a free offering, a lot of club owners don't view it that way and don't treat it that way. Um, some real life examples I can give you, I'll just give you a couple. Um, Being asked to cut the transition time between being told to cut the transition time between classes. So, on this particular schedule, we had 15-minute cushion between classes. That 15 minutes was jam-packed with the actual secret sauce. I'm kind of preaching to the choir if the instructors are tuning in right now. The instructors who tune in right now know that it is in the before and after the workout where the real community is built, where the real connective tissue becomes stronger and the conversations become meaningful. It is in the before, the minutes before class starts and the minutes after class ends, those 15 minutes before and after class where community is born, where you can set up a brand new member for success and introduce them to two other people that are later going to become their friends. It's in that time after class where you can give someone a hug because you saw on social media that they lost their dog. It's the magic. And it's also imperative. Like you need time to set up your room with equipment, with changing in lighting, with connecting to the Bluetooth, with introducing yourself to a new member and telling them what to expect in the next hour to come. So, being told to get rid of that time just so the schedule would look pretty, because the club owner's perspective is, oh, the schedule would look pretty if there was a class at 9 and a class at 10 and a class at 11 and a class at 12. No, we need that transition time. Another example is, and this actually might be a podcast episode all by itself about how there should be levels to classes. So, um, I believe that our schedules should have classes that are geared more towards beginners and geared more towards advanced students. That while, yes, we want to bend over backwards to make our class accessible to all people. Yes, absolutely, for sure. Yes, that's part of my very big heart for group fitness. And the classes I teach is to make it an accessible, safe space for all different fitness levels. But the truth of the matter is, some formats lend themselves to levels. Like, for example, Pilates, like having a level two class. It's really wonderful to have levels. Or at the time when I was directing, we had a yoga teacher that wanted to teach an advanced Ashtanga class. She didn't want to have first timers brand new to yoga come in. And that actually was beautiful. It gave people something to work towards. It's great to have levels. And um, so that's just like another example of like, I'm trying to give a couple specifics and also trying to be like tactful in my language here, of just kind of being given directives by maybe ownership, leadership that didn't understand like the big picture. Um, so also as far as like data and KPIs, key performance indicators, tracking class numbers and metrics. Sometimes club owners fail to take into consideration some of the bigger picture things when it comes to a class and a time slot and an instructor and a format. Like, obviously, there's popular times of day, high traffic times, so 6 a.m., 9 a.m., noon, 5:30 p.m., 6 p.m., Saturday morning, like those are going to be your higher traffic times. Whereas like mid-morning, 10:15, 10:30, 4:30, a little less popular, good for school teachers. So there's like off peak and peak time. So considering that and considering the fact that Not all clubs are the same. Not all clubs are the same. They're not all the same. So solutions aren't just like, oh, um, if, we shouldn't have classes that fall below an average of whatever, depending on your your geography or the situation with your club, that this number could vary, but the size of your membership, basically, it depends on also, and how high traffic your club is. But um, considering the fact that the it can take an instructor like a year to build a class, and it might not be the instructor or the format or the time slot that needs to go or be changed. It might just need time and marketing. I think a lot of clubs have this like knee-jerk reaction of like, oh, we've had this class on the schedule for 3 months, let's yank it, it's underperforming. When, you know, that like in the position I was in, I might know that I had a gem instructor. In fact, I'm thinking of someone who had a class of like three, then like only like three people were coming, but I knew she was a star, and I knew the format that she was teaching was excellent. Like I knew it just needed time and marketing. But the knee-jerk reaction of the club was like, cut it, it's not, it's underperforming. And that damages employee morale, instructor loyalty. Um, and just like also knowing that like group fitness needs marketing, there needs to be a priority in the marketing department for group fitness. And particularly those classes that might be underperforming. Um, because it can damage, loyalty and community um, and club energy, group fitness energy, and those things can't be quantified on a spreadsheet. Like if you have a unicorn instructor, there just needs to be greater consideration for all those other factors. Um, Also, club owners need to have a respect for the instructor's time, just really just an awareness that to teach a class for an hour, sometimes they're putting in 4 hours at home, 5 hours, plus spending money on maybe continuity for that program or their general continuing education at large. I mean, their general continuing education. So just having like a respect for the fact that they need to be there 15 minutes early to set up, that needs to be paid time. Like club owners need to pay their instructors for the time that it takes to get set up, which is 15 minutes. If it 15 minutes is the right way to do it. I know some clubs have less time, but 15 minutes is like what it takes to do it really well. Um, so just having like respect for the amount of time that we put in, like off the clock, unpaid time. So I think some club owners can fall into the trap of treating instructors like they're just replaceable. And when in fact, the truth is often they are not replaceable. Like you are not replaceable. You bring unique gifts to your club. Some other things like poor scheduling decisions. I'm this is bold of me to say, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I'm grown. I'm grown and I just like, man, the older I get, the more the filters come off. So I'm just gonna say it. I think a lot of clubs give deference or preference to Les Mills programming if they have Les Mills simply because they're putting their money into Les Mills because Les Mills requires clubs to pay licensing fees. So a lot of I've seen this so many times. Clubs give preference to Les Mills because they're spending more money on them, meaning they'll give their Les Mills programming the prime time, 5:30 p.m.s, 9 a.m.s. They'll give extra marketing budget money into quarterly launches and give away a bottle of wine or this or that with their quarterly launches. They'll do extra for Les Mills. Why? Because they're spending extra money. That doesn't make any sense at all. Like, honestly, I feel like clubs should do the opposite of that. They should be like, well, we're paying for yours. Show us why. Without any extra special treatment, show us why you're like outperform the other. Like, I feel like club owners should be like, outperform our other programs without extra help from us because we're paying, like they should actually try that. Um, they should actually test their Les Mills programming if they're gonna give extra marketing attention to Les Mills, do the same exact amount of attention to your other programming. If you're going to give your Les Mills your prime time, give equal prime time to other and see how they stack up. Like, I dare you. I dare you. Because what I really see so consistently, I promise, I see this. I see this all the time. Clubs are like, oh, Les Mills is crushing it. Yeah, well, you're investing more into Les Mills and you're giving them their best time slots and you're promoting them more in all your materials, in all your marketing. I mean, so like test it, try it, test them, test them, give equal marketing, equal gifts, equal spend, equal premier time slots to your other instructors or other formats and see how it washes out. Um, Stacking similar back-to-back formats without strategy or variety on the schedule is another sort of like pitfall. And just like I just want to admonish club owners if they happen to be listening, that if you don't take care of your instructors, if you're underpaying them, you're undervaluing them, and they leave, the members will follow them. They're not like any other person on your staff. Front desk, food and beverage, facilities, laundry, even personal trainers. Your group fitness instructors are special unicorns. And if they leave, your members will leave. Your members will follow them. Because group fitness member loyalty is not about the name on the door. It is not about the brick and mortar. It is about one another, the community, the instructor, the camaraderie, the fellowship, and it needs to be respected. So, what should club owners do? They should literally take the time to build trust with their instructors and empower them as experts. If you're a club owner, you should know all of your instructors' names. You should know what formats they teach. You should know when they teach. You should take their classes. And if you don't want to work out, eh, that's a different conversation. But if you don't want to work out, go sit and watch. You should know how to describe their format to members. If you're a club owner and you don't know your team and what excites them and how they're servicing your members wildly passionately, keeping money in the till, if you're not aware and can't speak to that, like that's step one. Know your group fitness team. create surveys. Don't just make decisions about the schedule willy-nilly. Create surveys, member surveys, ask them like all kinds of things, what they want, if they want things new, what the duration of class length they want. Do they want 30-minute classes? Um, which instructors are they resonating with? Like survey your members and treat group exercise like a pillar of your business, not a side note. Offer continuing education reimbursement, offer incentives, understand the product, show up in their classes. I hope I delivered that well, and I hope we have some club owners on. And I know that some club owners are like some club owners are you. You come from group fitness, you come from a teaching background, and you own your own studios and I just preach to the choir. So it's for the rest of you. All right, everybody, what are your 2 cents? What are your thoughts? All right, let me know. And thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for rating the show, getting us to 5 stars. I'm so proud of us. And I'll talk to you soon.